Lester Bangs, birthday party, cheesecake, jelly bean, boom, you symbiotic, patriotic, slam, button, that, right? Right. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine.
Hello and good evening, Doomers. It is Music for the End of the World here on 93.7 Edge FM in the beautiful and green Bega Valley. I'm Chris and I'm joined once again by Cass.
Evening.
Evening, Cass. And tonight we're going to take a little dive a little bit into our water crisis, I think, babe. The whole water cycle thing. You probably learn about it in primary school, you know, the water cycle, evaporation,
remember that
condensation,
well.
all that sort of jazz. Yeah. Well, there's been a study come out which has got some, interesting, I suppose, could be the word, frightening probably, frightening facts about it. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that. Music-wise, we've got some more role model. I quite liked role model last week.
That's right.
Yeah.
Something new.
That's something new. Apparently he started out as a rapper. That's what I found out. Some role model. And then a couple of my favourite Australian artists. Chris Coleman, who we saw at the National Folk Festival years ago.
Great performer.
Great performer from Tassie. A beautiful place. And Perry Keys, who is another one of my favourites, from Sydney. A Rabbitohs fan. And he's actually the same age as me, babe. Maybe that's why I like him so much. And he was, for a while, quite a while, he was a taxi driver. I suppose that may have given him a lot of material.
Yeah,
for
definitely
his
a lot
songs.
of writing material.
So, plus a bunch of other stuff, hopefully. But first, I'd just like to read this little blurb from, this is just someone in one of the groups that I'm a member of on the internet, talking about the logic of human extinction. Because we know where we're headed. We know we're going off the cliff, if we aren't off the cliff already. We know what the conclusion is of overshoot. And we know why it's happening, you know, ecological overshoot, consuming too much, emitting too much waste for the planet to be able to absorb and regenerate. But he's got an interesting take on it. He calls it the logic of human extinction. And he's come to the conclusion that intelligence beyond a certain level is a curse, evolutionary speaking. So we humans are the principal example of this. We've applied our intelligence in such a way that our planet will very soon be uninhabitable. Our intelligence and adaptability has enabled us to temporarily expand the envelope of survivability beyond anything that has been possible before for any species. The technical term for this is population overshoot, ecological overshoot. We've leveraged the incredible amount of energy made possible by the discovery of oil to expand our numbers exponentially in parallel with that bountiful and indispensable resource which will soon become too expensive to extract for most purposes. Of course, intelligence has not been the only factor that has brought us to this point. We have opposable thumbs, an upright gait that allows us to see further than many animals, the ability to digest both plant and animal matter, the ability to organise activities with each other, the ability to communicate complex thoughts, including symbolic thoughts, which is very important for the orange man over there in the States, and plans, both across individuals and across generations, in the form of language, writing, etc. We have been curious animals and have sought to discover information about everything possible and have recorded it for future use. We have mastered numerous technologies, including agriculture and artificial fertiliser, and all of these things, which we habitually collectively refer to as progress, have been essential for constructing what we may lump together as civilization. And it's gotten us to where we are now. And it's expanded our numbers with no policy of limiting them. Except, of course, from that China's temporary one-child policy. You might remember that, babe? That went from 79 to 2015. But even that had permitted numerous exemptions, I should say. And so we stand now on the brink of extinction through nuclear war, conventional conflicts, pollution, starvation, heat stroke, disease, sea level rise, loss of habitat for ourselves and the other living things we depend on, soil depletion, cataclysmic storms, the exhaustion of oil reserves. These may affect us either singly or in combination. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff too. So with the probable exception of a nuclear war, our extinction most likely will take the form of a gradual rolling apocalypse that strikes different places at different times and with different degrees of impact, which is what we're seeing now. But it will be relentless. Cities will be destroyed and will be incapable of being rebuilt for lack of energy and raw materials. It'll become impossible to keep up with the renewal of ageing infrastructure, which is happening now in the States for the same reason. Because most of the materials and services required to keep our societies going will become too costly to afford. It will become increasingly difficult to grow food thanks to desertification, loss of irrigation water, which is what we're going to be talking about tonight, and drinking water, as the snow packs and glaciers vanish, and the exhaustion of soil as we keep on extracting more from it than we replace, especially when we're not being able to produce huge amounts of fertilisers, because they come from fossil fuels, of course. Crops will be ravaged by pests, diseases that we cannot control because we no longer spray them with agrochemicals. There'll be mass starvation, mass migrations, huge societal dislocation, and in all probability, he goes on to say, great violence as we resort to fighting each other for what resources remain. There'll be numerous mass deaths as our numbers plummet, more and less in sync with what resources we're still able to draw upon. Because that's what happens with the curve of overshoot. And yet, without the intelligence that has leveraged our other abilities and evolutionary adaptations, I should say, we have been just another species of animal, no better, no worse than anything else, but able to remain indefinitely within the envelope of sustainable survival, mostly in balance with the rest of the ecosystems that we existed in. I suspect that if life exists anywhere else in the universe, a similar logic and dynamic would also operate there. Any dominant species that was capable of launching a spacecraft could, in all probability, have done so at the cost of destroying the local biosphere, while attempting to achieve the level of technology that would make space travel possible. However, the logic of what is required for the unimaginable distances involved in interstellar space travel, let alone the finding and colonisation of a new suitable home, guarantees that no organism anywhere in the universe will have succeeded in establishing new colonies anywhere. Except for Musk, of course, who's planning on colonising Mars, because he's a genius. That's what he keeps telling us. We are a species governed by optimism, bias, and hubris. We are collectively too self-absorbed and self-centred to be capable of recognising how vain and misguided we have been. And in any case, we're only maximising our available resources like almost every other organism, except that we have done it too successfully. As Professor Bill Rees goes on, all species have an innate trajectory of maximising their resources, and if they're unlimited, well then they will continue to breed until they get to overshoot. In fact, anyone born at any time in the last millennia, or even hundreds of thousands of years, was probably already unwillingly on the trajectory that has led us to where we are today. Because we've lacked the knowledge as a species and wisdom to be capable of acting in a way that would have avoided this predicament what we're in. Which at this point has no solution because it's a predicament. As some arbitrary structure, we unknowingly transition from a problem that could be solved in the highly unlikely possibility that we could have agreed on limiting our numbers and hence the load that we were imposing on the biosphere, to a predicament that only an external factor like massive volcanism could possibly head off, or at least delay. Most people who read this will resist my conclusion, and this is the thing that we find all the time talking to people, that there is no solution to our predicament. Most people always have to hang their hope on a solution, but there is no solution. That's the correct hypothesis. So our final extinction lies just around the corner. Only the precise timeline remains unknown, but is probably only a decade or two away at the most. Indeed, it is already happening to many people around the world, thanks to the natural disasters and processes that have already been referred to. The shrinking scope for performing agriculture and our general inability to act wisely at the collective level. And he goes on to sum it up saying, we have been too clever for our own and everything else's good. So that's an interesting take on it. And really, I suppose he is correct in a way, and that is our intelligence, which has got us to where we are.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Just the fact that, I mean, as you said, that's also part of the issue is if there's a, predicament or you're in a certain situation and people are saying, oh, that's okay because we'll come up with a solution, and we just believe too wholeheartedly in our ability to problem solve everything. I mean, I think ultimately as a human species, don't we? We have this belief that we can solve any problem.
That's right.
We have the technology,
That's
we have
right.
the intelligence, and that idea of being able to say, well, actually, this is not something that you can't turn back the forces of nature.
No, that's right. The CO2 is already in there.
Continue.
That's right. That's right.
So,
yes, because, I mean, it's the ecological overshoot, it's the consumption. And I can't see anywhere in the world where people are consuming less, let alone would people agree to consume less.
certainly not voluntarily, that's right. People consume less in countries so they don't have the resources, but that's right. Would people put their hand up and say,
right.
no, thank you, I won't go to the shops and I won't buy a new electronic appliance, or I won't buy a new bed, or I won't buy a new this.
I mean, it's all part, obsolescence is built in
Well, it is.
to all the objects that we consume.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because it was, people used to always talk about the fact that you'd buy appliances or you'd buy things that you'd be using, and when I was younger, you'd have appliances that would last for 10, 15...
20 years, 30 years.
And then you acknowledge the fact that you suddenly realise that, now when we buy things that they last for 2 years and...
Like my dad's, some of his tools and, electronic things, fridges and stuff have been still going 50 years later.
But I don't think that people actually put two and two together, like while we realise that it's a much more transient, it's a consumer society, that we have people again just haven't made that connection between, well, what does that mean, and the amount. If you think in your own lifetime, the number of, for example, appliances that you have to buy, and you're going, if you're putting that across the world, the number of people, particularly in Western countries, you go, that's a lot of materials, the metal to make your toaster, the elements,
that's right.
the cords, the plastic, all of that's just fabricated,
that's
and you
right.
go.
That's why the whole green revolution, is completely... It's a smokescreen for business as usual, and it's just going to make things way worse quicker.
Well,
because we need to mine for all those, lithium and all these other.
But we're also in a situation
metals.
that you can't. It's like even saying, okay, so don't buy new appliances. The fact we're caught up in this whole process, and so you buy an appliance and it lasts for 2 years or a year, and then you have to get another one, or you buy a phone, and then suddenly, after 3-4 years, or a computer, you suddenly can't use it because the operating system's changed. So that's a different thing. That's to do with a whole other commercial context. But you can't actually say, that's okay, we're going to buy this one toaster and that's it. We're not going to consume and buy.
Well, it's like light bulbs.
You have to keep buying.
They have light bulbs that will last your whole lifetime.
They do?
Well, it's possible, yes, they have, but they don't
not
sell
for
them.
sale.
No, of course not. Where would all the light bulb sellers be?
Yeah, that's right. So it's very hard, like as an individual, then to say I'm going to consume less, because there are some things that you're almost forced into consuming because because of the nature of the fact that we've become this.
Yes, that's our lovely neoliberal capitalist system. Don't you love it? Yeah. Okay. Well, that was quite a long introduction there. I just wanted to say a little bit about the logic of extinction. And our brains have got us to where it is. That's why. Okay, some music. Now, I did say we're going to have Role Model, so let's have a couple of songs from Role Model. I think he's American.
She had the hoops, white gold, with the penny loaves covering her toes. She was mine, got cold. Now the guilt's the only thing I hold. Spend my nights all alone till I snap and buy a red-eye home. Then I toss and I turn, let a cigarette burn my skin like a furnace. Damn, honey, look at you go. For the night, gotta get out of town sometimes. Got drunk on the flight. Since she left, I've been way out of line. Lost my faith and my mind on the day we had to say goodbye. And I try not to call, but the leaves start to fall. Girl, it's nobody's fault, but damn, you can make a thug cry. Can make it complicated. You just want a little TLC. You look happy when we're naked, but you get angry when the brake lights leave. Girl, I'm sorry for the damage and bandages that I'm ripping. I'm sorry for all the stress and I'll leave you guessing I'm slipping. The only thing that I'm doing is never doing enough. Maybe someday I'll start picking it up. We're gonna make it through. A little bit of super glue, stick by my side. I'm nothing without you. A little bit of super glue, stick by my side. I got used to being called out Wishing I used to being left alone, no. I've had one too many fallouts, and I don't wanna let this one go, no. But she don't smile anymore, you don't greet me at the door. You've been laying on the floor, steady staring at the ceiling. I should probably ask you how you feeling. Maybe I'm just scared of how you'd answer. Ooh, my tiny dancer. Even when I'm home, I ain't home. You're sleeping in that bed on your own. I shouldn't have to tell you all this shit through the phone. Singing like, ooh, we're gonna make it through. A little bit of super glue, stick by my side. Ooh, I'm nothing without you. A little bit of super glue, stick by my side. I'm sorry for the damage and bandages that I'm ripping. I'm sorry for all the stress and I leave you guessing I'm slipping. The only thing that I'm doing is never doing enough. Maybe someday I'll stop fucking this up. Oh!
That was Role Model with Super Glue, and before that it was Look at That Woman.
Nice.
Yeah,
Really
I like him.
like his sound.
Yeah.
I think his name's Tucker Harrington Pillsbury.
Oh, nice name.
27.
Oh, okay.
Ex-rapper, as you said.
Ex-rapper, yeah. I don't know what his rapper name was. I think it might have been Dillis or something, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But,
I know that part.
yeah, look him up. All right. It's 7:25 on 93.7 Edge FM, and I think it could be time for some of our lovely sponsors' announcements.
Have you heard about the family restaurant at Club Bega? They serve classic and modern Australian meals and are open for lunch and dinner every day. You can try the Wednesday night schnitty deal, where for $20, with your schnitty comes a free drink and bonus tickets in the raffle. Oh, and kids eat free on Sunday and Tuesday nights. Please call 6492 1903 to book. And Club Bega sponsor this station as a service to the community.
Rob Shadle and Rob Flynn from Bega Valley Realty breathe a breath of fresh air into the real estate market in the Bega Valley, and it shows. With sold signs up all over the valley, give yourself the green tick of approval and get in contact with Bega Valley Realty. Give them a call on 64920 426. That's 64920 426. Bega Valley Realty, proud sponsors of Edge FM.
Thank you, sponsors. Back to the water cycle. Now, this is a report from the Global Commission on the Economics of Water. And Earth's water cycle is off balance for the first time in human history.
What does that mean?
Exactly. That's what we want to look into, babe. We must reshape our shared relationship with water across borders and cultures, they say. So, decades of mismanagement of water resources, deforestation, and the fossil fuel-driven crisis of global warming have put unprecedented stress on the Earth's water systems, according to a new report, and have thrown the world's hydrological cycle out of balance for the first time in human history, as far as we know anyway. The Global Commission on the Economics of Water, that's the group, affiliated with the Dutch government and comprised of global experts, published a study last Thursday warning that policymakers must urgently reframe the hydrological cycle as a global common good, recognising that it is, and quoting, deeply interlinked with the climate and biodiversity crises. So the hydrological cycle, or water cycle, is the continuous circulation of water between the planet's oceans, land and atmosphere. And you would have learned a little bit about it, as I said before, babe, back in primary school. The experts involved in the new report warn that rising temperatures and pollution driven by continued fossil fuel emissions and other industrial impacts are amongst the factors that are undermining an equitable and sustainable future for all in terms of water access. So we just put this on, tag this on the list of all those other things that I was mentioning. The Commission said a new economics of water is needed, recognising that water connects countries and regions through atmospheric water flows, as well as bodies of water. Because you've heard that, you would have heard it. I tell kids all the time in class, you know, the water cycle goes, we're continually reusing it. And, you know, some of the water
That's right.
that you might be drinking may have
Yep.
been, in Captain Cook's urine. You don't know. You know, like everything is just recycled all the time. We must reshape our shared relationship with water across borders and cultures for sustainable, impactful and just transitions, the Commission said on social media. Both freshwater and land ecosystems have been damaged by mismanagement and undervaluation of water around the world, reads the report. We can no longer count on freshwater availability for our collective future. And of course, you know, humans, babe, we need a few things to be able to survive. One is water.
Well, I'd say the most important.
Water and food. Yeah.
You don't have food without water.
Well, yeah. And like you can last longer without food than you can without water, I'm pretty sure. I think I've read that somewhere. Without water, do you last a week? I would doubt it. I think it's days. I'm not sure how many. You should look it up. I don't know, but it's
All right,
pretty
we'll
short.
research that one.
As opposed to food, and you know, look at the hunger strikes. They can go on for weeks.
Or months.
Months.
Right. Yeah.
But as long as you got water, you're still in there.
But the thing of all the things that people have controlled, though, like when there've been times of trouble, is that we've seen that societies can manage their water. I mean, look in Australia over the last 20 years, in those times when water was scarce, when we were in drought, and they had all those different kinds of, programs. So whether it was you could only water your lawns if you're in a city, if you license plates started
That's
with
right.
this number or that number. So people can do it, and so it's just unfortunate that you're going, don't wait till there's no water.
And we've certainly managed our Murray-Darling River system very well. Very well. That is healthy as. Thanks to the great Barnaby Joyce. He really did a top job there. Wasn't he emissary for the Murray-Darling water project or something? And he was texting Morrison or something. He didn't write reports. He just gave little texts saying, everything's cool. We've got water here. Scotty. Yes, we've done a top job. Top job. So it's a big problem. But first, I think we need some more music. And I did say we're going to play another one of my favourite Australian artists, which is the great Perry Keys, born in 1966. And this is one of my favourite songs of his. And I think it was covered by Missy Higgins, if I'm not wrong. So maybe people have heard that version. But this is the original, and in my view, the best. New Year's Eve, Perry Keys.
All the girls are drunk. Maybe so am I. Here beneath the old expressway, I watch them walk on by. All the harbor's humming, gonna light the crackers soon. I just wanna kiss you beneath the New Year moon. All the junkie kids are tired, every single taxi's hired. Say I'm moving slow, that you wanna go, I don't wanna leave. There's no need to feel so bad, growing up can make you sad. You won't be ignored, all aboard, tonight is New Year's Eve. Mom and Dad are in the backyard with Gladys Knight and her pips. My little brother's in his bedroom with nicotine on his fingertips. My big brother's downtown, scaring girls and fighting surfies. Said I'd meet him by the Donny Kebab stand next to Colin Murphy's. All the junkie kids are tired, every single taxi's hired. Say I'm moving slow, that you wanna go, I don't wanna leave. There's no need to feel so bad, growing up can make you sad. You won't be ignored, all aboard, tonight is New Year's Eve. I can hear those Westies blow their horns, desert boots dragging off the dunes. Downtown's got its own sound, whistling through these rooms. And the streets are full of action, the burning signs are hanging high. I just gotta get some traction, let the light shoot through my eyes. All the punks are lighting fires, drinking long necks in the park. Some girls swimming in the fountain, singing buzzcocks in the dark. Your sister always says she's lonely, I stole a New Year's kiss from her as the lost train left the station. Every red light was a blur. All the junkie kids are tired, every single taxi's hired. Say I'm moving slow, that you wanna go, I don't wanna leave. There's no need to feel so bad, growing up can make you sad. You won't be ignored, all aboard, tonight is New Year's Eve. Now all the junkie kids are hired, the train driver's getting tired. Moon is hanging low, rails are rocking slow. Shut your eyes and breathe. I don't know why you're feeling sad, it's the best time that I ever had. Oh, let me hold you tight, let me hold you tight, tonight is New Year's Eve. Alright now, just come on, just come on. Alright now, just come on, just come on. Who's gonna miss us? 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 Who's gonna miss us?
The great Perry Keys from Sydney with New Year's Eve. Great song. Now, before I get back to the water cycle report, Cass, I'm introducing a new segment to the show. It's called... What?
What's your new segment called?
My segment? Well, it's a humour segment. Gallows humour. That's the sort of humour you have when we're all hurtling off the cliff towards a fiery death in the near future. And this one is... what do you say when someone's died and you want to remember them? Like something... Well, anyway, the great Michael Leunig, who's no longer with us, who was a genius. Rest in peace, Michael. And he's got this funny cartoon of these two guys sitting at a cafe having a drink and a smoke, and one guy saying, "I'm not sure whether I'm suffering from too much brutal reality or too many disgusting lies." And then the other guy says, "I'm suffering because too many disgusting lies is the new brutal reality." You gotta love looting. So that's a new show. A new segment. New segment on the show.
What, you're
Gallows
gonna read,
humour.
you're going to read
Yes, I'll have another little...
jokes or cartoons.
yes,
All right.
something to make you smile. Because the end of the world isn't too smiley. But we can try our best. It is 7:39, 93.7 Edge FM. This is music for the end of the world. And we're talking about how our water cycle is out of kilter for the first time in our human history. Now, the article I'm reading comes from the Global Commission on Water Economics, and I'm reading it, I've got it here from the Climate and Capitalism website, if anyone wants to look it up. And they state that already more than 1,000 children die each day from illnesses related to a lack of safe drinking water. And more than half of the world's food production takes place in areas where water supplies are expected to decrease in the coming years, in the near future. It's already happening. I mean, I think Bill Rees said that I think we have sort of destroyed a third of our arable land on the planet. So it's already happening. If this isn't enough for the world to go into emergency mode, then what is? Asked writer Matthew Todd of Expected Strains on Food Production. Think about what that means. Billions potentially migrating, war, unprecedented political instability. A new approach to water governance must be adopted, said the Commission, from local to river basin to global, to ensure that it is governed more effectively and efficiently and delivers access and justice for all and sustains the Earth's ecosystems. Have you heard about any of this on any of the mainstream media, Cass?
No, I haven't.
No.
Talking about the water cycle and changes and
No.
out of balance? No.
No. Well, I know ABC Morning News are too concerned with recipes for all your tomatoes from the garden, because that is a problem that we have to deal with. Let's not worry about the water cycle going out of kilter. And that's the ABC. So God knows what the commercial channels are talking about. I don't watch them. And I don't really watch the ABC. I was just flicking the other day. Now, Tharman this is a mouthful. Tharman Shanmugaratnam. He's the president of Singapore and a co-chair of the Commission. He told The Guardian that policymakers must think radically about how we are going to preserve the sources of fresh water, how we are going to use it far more efficiently, and how we are going to be able to have access to fresh water available to every community, including the vulnerable. In other words, how we preserve equity between rich and poor in regards to water. I think most people in the first world, that's us, we sort of take it for granted, I suppose. You go into The tap, turn it on, and water comes out.
Very rarely, apart from those times of drought, have we sort of experienced what it's like to sort of have to minimise water use. But absolutely, everyone expects to turn on a tap,
Yeah.
and not only have water, but have drinkable, hygienic water. So
Yeah. Yes. But, as we know, things are changing. Okay. What shall we have? Well, look, I'm going to play another song. I played two from Role Model, and I couldn't play another one from him too, but we don't have that much time left, so I'm going to play another song from Perry Keys, and this one is entitled 1982. And he lists a whole bunch of things that were happening in 1982. Do you remember 1982, babe?
I certainly do.
Oh. How old would you have been then?
I have to do some maths on.
I was 16.
That's easy. I would have been
Yep.
15.
It was a good year. So this is Perry Keys, 1982.
The butcher boys all shiver, just like dogs on heat. The council hoes that come and the Sunday cups off Suck Street. Orchard bottles lay like bluebells on the broken shore. A Bible Halloran burnt a cone last night and someone's Commodore. We watch the smoky moon swim through the black south head. Bobby kicked his sand shoes from his feet and he said his mom was dead. Her liver turned her eyes to gold and her sagging skin to ash. There's a stolen Betamax machine and 60 bucks in cash. The flying pieman hits a street and he sets himself on fire by a barbed wire fence holding brand new cars and a giant Goodyear tire. Said mom found out that she was sick the day Dulcifer got shot. And my old man had the bank book, he fucked off and spent the lot. You could get a job or go on a dole at 14 and 9 months. You could go to jail with Nettie Smith and those other useless cunts that sold their smack to baby girls and to boys with dumb tattoos who have eyes that will not open now and arms that never bruise. Bobby, lay your head down next to mine. Sleep but don't dare dream. I swear beneath the railway steps you can hear the drunk men scream to their baby girls in bunny rugs, dead boys in mascot blue. Oh, please don't leave me all alone in 1982.
1982, Perry Keys. Yes, I remember Nettie Smith. He was a corrupt cop, wasn't he? Yeah, that was in the olden days. I think it's time for some more lovely sponsor announcements.
Clark Business Advisors is a locally owned and operated accounting firm with over 35 years' experience. With an office in Merimbula, they provide a full range of accounting and business advisory services, which include taxation and compliance, business advisory and administration, payroll and bookkeeping, and accounting software solutions. Owned and operated by Stephen R. Clark, a second-generation accountant who has been practicing since 1983, Clark Business Advisors is a trusted name in the local and greater community. You can reach them on 6495 1320. Clark Business Advisors are a long-time sponsor of 93.7 Edge FM, Bega Community Radio.
Hey my deadly listeners, this is Michelle Scott, your presenter for First Nation Sessions on 93.7 Edge FM Bega. You can now listen to my show on Mondays from 5 to 6 p.m. Please continue to tune in and don't forget to follow and like my First Nations page on Facebook. See ya.
Thank you, sponsors, and thank you, Michelle. And I need to add also that Michelle, yes, she's moving from the Thursday to Monday at 5 p.m. And Dean, who was on at 5 on Mondays, has now moved to 3 on Mondays. So his show will be 3 to 5, followed by Michelle's First Nations music, 5 o'clock on Mondays. So that's the little bit of housekeeping done. All right, let's go back to the water. The experts from this Global Commission found that much of the $700 billion that goes to water and agricultural subsidies annually is misdirected, pushing wealthier farmers to use more water than they need, while poorer communities and farmers haven't got enough. Industry is getting a lot of the subsidy, and richer people. So what we need are better targeted subsidies, they say. We need to identify the poor people who really need this. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, the Director General of the WTO, that's the World Trade Organization, and another co-chair of the Commission told The Guardian. The impact of continued stress of water resources could shrink wealthy countries' gross domestic product by an average of 8% by 2050. Wow. If we'll be around by 2050, and that of lower income countries by up to 15%. Stress on the planet's water systems have particularly impacted green water. Do you know what green water is, Cass? As opposed to blue water.
Oh, I was talking about
blue
grey
water's
water. Grey water.
Ah, yes, the grey water is from your house.
Blue water.
Blue water is like lakes, oceans, etc.
Well, I would have thought green water was something to do with some kind of recycling.
So green water is the water that is stored in the soil and plants and forests and ultimately evaporates and becomes rainfall. Current policy tends to deal with the blue water that we can see, such as rivers, lakes, aquifers, largely overlooking green water, reads the report. Intact ecosystems and lands managed in ways that do not adversely impact their hydrological functioning are critical to securing terrestrial rainfall. A stable supply of green water in soils is also crucial for carbon sequestration. So the degradation of freshwater systems, including the loss of moisture in the soil, has already contributed to frequent and increasingly severe droughts, floods, heat waves and wildfires playing out across the globe that we've experienced here ourselves in Australia and also down here on the South Coast. The Commission mapped the vast interconnected network of atmospheric water exchanges that span the entire planet. And they've actually got a great website. It's a water storytelling website. It accompanies this report, and it provides visuals on how the green water flows connect countries across the globe. It's really interesting. It's actually... I was looking at it today and, you know, like the rainfall in China, a lot of it depends on the forests in the Ukraine.
Interesting.
Yeah. The respiration, evaporation of water from the forest in the Ukraine going across and falling in China. And Argentina, you know, the great, is it the Pampas? The big, where they have all their farming, huge savanna lands. That depends on rainfall from the Amazon. The water comes up from
They're
the
in trouble then.
Amazon forest, comes over and comes back down to the ground in Argentina. So it's a really interconnected system. It's not just we learn about it in primary school, the basic sort of functioning of it, but it's a very, very complex and interconnected.
Well, you don't obviously think about the implications of, a water cycle in one country impacting
No,
the cycle in
that's
another
right.
country.
That's right. Because, as we always say here, everything is connected, babe. Everything. You can't separate one thing, and that's one of our problems. We like to separate one thing. Climate change, we'll fix that. Or ocean acidification, we'll fix that. Or deforestation, we'll fix that. Or microplastics, we'll fix that.
Or it's more the thing of saying, yes, in those countries, yes, we know they have water problems and, people are working to do something about that. And yes, there's a problem here and problem there. But the fact is that the problem in whatever other geographical location is going to have an impact across multiple geographic locations. Like just as that report has explained, is the fact that it's not only a thing about what we're doing, it's what other people in other countries are doing.
Yeah. It's like, I forget that famous quote from Silent Spring. I forget the author, back in the 60s, where nature doesn't allow...
From the recent television.
Something about not being alone. You can't be by yourself. Everything is connected. I'm going to have to find that quote for next week. It's a terrific quote. Because we're all connected. We all need each other and everything else on this planet. Managing water as a resource, back to this Commission's report, is more than a local matter, said the Commission. The report calls for partnerships to be forged between all stakeholders from the local to global levels, aimed at completing 5 missions that address the most important and interconnected challenges of the global water crisis. And they are, Cass. 1. Launch a new revolution in food systems to improve water productivity in agriculture while meeting the nutritional needs of a growing world population. Not happening, won't happen. 2. Conserve and restore natural habitats critical to protect green water. Not happening, won't happen. 3. Establish a circular water economy, including changes in industrial processes. Well, that definitely won't happen. There's no way people are changing the systems that we have. There's no way. Just look at America. The billionaires will not allow it. 4. Enable a clean energy era with much lower water intensity. And 5. Ensure that no child dies from unsafe water by 2030 by securing the reliable supply of potable water and sanitation for underserved communities. Underserved communities. Not undeserved. Underserved. Yeah, well, all fantastic. Worthwhile intentions. Ain't going to happen though, because it just won't happen. I mean, we know, babe, that the system has to change. The system will not change. I can't think of a leader anywhere in the world who has mentioned overshoot. They've mentioned global warming or climate change. They might have mentioned microplastics. They might have mentioned deforestation or something, but no one's mentioned overshoot. So if you don't recognise and realise what the problem is, the predicament is, you can't... Anything you do is just going to exacerbate it. And they leave it with this quote, this commission: the Chinese economy depends on sustainable forest management in the Ukraine, as I was saying, in Kazakhstan as well, and the Baltic region. Johan Rockström, director of the Potsdam Institute for Climate Impact Research and another co-chair of this commission, told The Guardian. You can make the same case for Brazil supplying fresh water to Argentina. The interconnectedness just shows that we have to place fresh water in the global economy as a global common good. You reckon it's going to happen, babe?
Well, I think it's just very problematic, isn't it?
I mean, first of all, does
Operating
anyone know
on a
about this
global
report?
scale.
Apart from me reading about it here on 93.7 Edge FM, Bega Community Radio. Any media reports on it? I doubt anyone has heard about
but
it.
obviously institutions would be aware of it. It's just problematic because who's going to respond? And certainly looking at the US at the moment with their reversal on climate change, then you've got to...
Well, they're not allowed to
the
mention
largest, most
climate
powerful
change on
country.
any of their departmental sites. So,
working with the US will be somewhat problematic in that space.
This is just some communist socialist plot, probably according to Musk or those guys. Yeah. Oh, well. That's how it is, people. And we're coming up to the end of another Music for the End of the World. Thanks for listening. And remember, if you are in the Bega Valley and you would like to come on the show and have a chat about collapse and maybe how you're dealing with it or your take on it, you're more than welcome to come in and have a chat with me. Wednesdays 7 till 8. Just email the station on, go to the Edge FM website and they got email links, etc., etc. All right, it is coming up to 8 o'clock, and of course, every week, babe, I always have to play from my favourite band, The Gimmies.
I thought they were going to miss out
No,
this week.
they will never miss out.
Never miss out.
They will never miss out. And this is a terrific song by The Gimmies, The Way We Were. Do you remember who sang the original?
Isn't it? It's some sort of more ballady type. Is it a female vocalist?
Yeah. Wasn't it from
Not someone
that
like
Barbara
Helen Reddy?
Streisand
No.
movie?
Oh, was it Barbara Streisand?
No, I don't know. Anyway, nothing compares to this version. So, and I always leave off, of course, just collapse. As they say, collapse is inevitable, people, but justice is not. Just like we're talking about tonight about the water justice. So here we are, finishing off tonight. See you next week. Good night, everyone. Baby saying goodbye.
Of course. Good night, everyone.
Thank
Have a great
you.
week.
And this is The Gimmies, The Way We Were.
Memories like the corners of my mind, misty watercolor memories of the way we were. Scattered pictures of the smiles we left behind, smiles we gave to one another for the way we were. Can it be it was all so simple then, or has time rewritten every line? If we had the chance to do it all again, tell me, would we? Could we? Memories may be beautiful and yet what's too painful to remember, we simply choose to forget. So it's the laughter we will remember whenever we remember the way we